Well, good morning. Have you ever felt a little slow, a little tired, a little worn out? This morning, all right. Yeah. You know, it's interesting, especially on days like this, when it's blustery out, when the wind is coming and the storms are coming. Sometimes it feels like you just want to hunker down, right? And just, turn on that fire or bake fire or TV fire or whatever it is, a YouTube fire, whatever it is that you have available to you, to help you feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more at peace. You know, there are times when we're also feeling just worn out by life, worn out by our experience. You know, I don't know about you, but whenever I come up to people and I'm asking, questions about what's going on in life, if I ask them about something like their pet or something, they're all enthusiastic about it. And when I just come up and say, hey, how's it going? They're kind of like, oh, COVID. It's only been 2 years now, or however long it's been. Have you experienced that? Have you, when asking people, how's it going? Well, And it's times like that when we have the choice to either live in that sense of blah or to bring the zeal. It's time for us to bring the zeal. Are you up for it? All right. Zealicious. Bring the zeal. Now, what do we mean by zeal? Because when you hear the word zeal, what do you picture? Somebody who's really enthusiastic, really up there, and hey, how's it going? Maybe, a motivational speaker that we all know who runs and makes you all stand up and dance. You guys want to stand up and dance? Nobody wants to stand up and dance, okay. We don't have quite that amount of zeal here yet. That's the zeal that we kind of think about when we hear that word. That enthusiasm, that energy, that I'm going to do this. And that's at least what the interwebs say. But there's a spiritual side to zeal as well. Because you see, zeal is not a reaction to something. It's not a feeling that you have. It's really an energy that you express. And when we are in those motivational speaking environments where people are standing up and singing and chanting, well, everyone's just got to stand up and sing and chant. That energy starts flowing and you start expressing that. And then when you get home, it's like, whew, glad that was done. But boy, that was motivational. You see, we're looking for that motivation. We're looking for that enthusiasm. We're looking for that reason to be excited out there. Someone else bring the excitement. Now, I'm not saying it's not always a good thing. It's sometimes a very good thing. Music does the same thing for me. When I listen to Russell play or to Deborah sing, it's like, it raises me up. I feel that energy starting to rise. I feel that enthusiasm within me. That zeal within me starts to come out. But it's only temporary if I'm only enthused or inspired by Russell or by Deborah. Because as soon as they stop, it's like, oh man, no, I got to get up there and speak. Come on. Can't you just keep singing? So sometimes, really, to create that energy of zeal, that's actually a spiritual power that's within us. That's an ability that we have to bring that energy with us. We have to draw it from within. We can get inspired by something out there, but what that does is simply touch something that's already in us. And then we allow it to flame, to blow in that flame, and to stoke that fire until that energy starts to rise up within us, if we allow it. And then we can express it out in the world. Then we can live by it. Have you ever felt that sense of excitement and energy and enthusiasm in your life? You can raise your hand. It's okay if you have. Yeah, I think most of us have. We've had, at some point in our life, some experience of that zeal. And so the idea here is that we need to bring that forward in our everyday life. Zeal is the energy that propels us forward. You've heard me say many times that there is a divine impulse within us, a divine impulse that is calling us higher, calling us to a higher state of consciousness, that's raising us up. It is that zeal, that energy of zeal within us that actually moves us forward in that direction. So if we had that energy of zeal, we must recognize where we are applying that energy, because it's always available. Now, there are times when it's time to relax. There are times when it's time to hunker down, maybe to meditate, maybe to sleep. Be very enthusiastic in your sleep. I don't recommend it. Those dreams are really wacky. But that energy of zeal, when we're going into a situation or we're going into life, can help us move through life by feeling exuberant and excited, at least inside, even if all of those around us are in the bleh. Even if the experience that we're having isn't quite what we want. You know, for some people, I talk to them, it's like, gosh, I'm at home, I'm missing all my friends, I have to work at home, and all my friends are at work, and I can't see anybody. And then I have friends like, yeah, they're forcing me to go to work, and I have to be with all those people. And whichever side you're on, you can look at that as, there's an opportunity here for me. And I can be in it and still bring my sense of zeal. When our zeal is focused on our spiritual nature, when our zeal is focused on that divine energy that's within us, when our zeal is focused on expressing that divine essence that is you, that essence of light, love, and wisdom that is unique to you, that divine spark that's within you, that wholeness, that spiritual wholeness that is you. I led a talk series the other week about discovering wholeness, realizing that it's not about discovering it out there, it's about realizing you're already it, spiritually whole. So you can tune into that and bring that forward. And when we do that, that's when this energy of zeal propels us forward, even in the midst of those experiences that we really don't want to deal with. Now, zeal is always operating, but it operates at different levels. There is excited zeal, right, which we talked about earlier, and then there's a very quiet zeal. And both of these are very valid. I like to kind of relate this to pets. Anybody have a pet in their life? Yeah, so I had dogs growing up, and most of my dogs were large dogs, right? We had labs and golden retrievers, and when you come home, they're exuberantly excited, right? It's like, hey man, you're home. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Hey, you're home. Hey, feed me. Okay? Hi. That's the exuberant side of zeal. And we have that within us. And then there's the quiet side of zeal. Those are my cats. We have 2 cats right now. And when we come in, they're like, hey. What's up? Yeah, you can feed me now. It's cool. I'm here for you. Mellow. When I was growing up, I had a cockatiel, a little, I don't know if you know what a cockatiel is, a bird about that tall. It's got a beautiful little crest, multicolor. Whenever I came home and opened the door, she would get so excited, bouncing up and down on her perch. Let me out, let me out, let me out. Hey, you're home, let me out, let me out. I opened the door, she's out. And then at my daughters at Kids Club here, when she was in 3rd or 4th grade, they had a bearded dragon as a pet, as a classroom pet. And that bearded dragon's version of zeal is like this. That's about it. And I don't know, I only saw it during the day. Maybe it's a nocturnal creature and they get all excited, but there are different types of zeals, right? There's the calm, reassuring zeal or energy that moves us forward confidently with expectation of good. There's the excited zeal, which inspires and gets us really moving fast and gets us to think different ways. So that energy of zeal is always active. And then there's the egoic zeal. You've seen them, right? Those who might seem a little overzealous. Those who might seem like they're a zealot. Those who are like all about me. Life is so good. Look at me. I'm proof. Don't you want to follow me? So that energy is always moving us, And we have the choice, now that we have the awareness, we have the choice about where to focus it. Are we going to focus it on that egoic energy, or are we going to focus it on our spiritual energy? You know, an egoic energy might look like when people get together and start complaining about everyone else, right? That's zeal. That energy is flowing within us. You're just stoking the fuel of your anger and your frustration and your resentment and your judgment. I'm so much better than they are. That's the same energy. It's just where you're pointing it. There are those who feel, when you feel really depressed and quiet and still, when you're like, I can't do it. I just don't have the energy to do it. It's not that they don't have the energy to do it. It's that their energy is focused on their belief that they can't do it. Their belief that they're not good enough to do it. Their belief that they're not worthy enough, that they're not smart enough, that they're not brave enough. They're just focusing that energy on that, what Ronnie called it, their BS. The energy is always flowing. And we have the choice then, when we find ourselves there, because sometimes it's like, okay, I just need a break. I need a rest. But when we find ourselves there, then there's the choice to either take a conscious rest where we're refocusing that energy, not on that egoic aspect of life, but on our spiritual aspect of life, and have zeal in a meditation, have zeal in our affirmative prayer, have zeal in a walk, in a nap, right? Whatever it is that we need to do to recover physically, but still keep our energy focused on the nature of our being. Keep our energy focused on that spiritual wholeness. Keep our energy focused and our minds and our thoughts and our words focused on that expression that unity calls the Christ, that divine spark within you, that higher consciousness. As we go through this experience, I'm reminded of a verse from Romans chapter 12, verse 11, when the Apostle Paul was really giving one of his big speeches. This is in the middle of how to live life, and this portion was in the middle of how to put love into action. And in Romans 12, verse 11, he said, "Do not lag in zeal, but be ardent in spirit. Be ardent in the heart of spirit." Have that love for spirit. Have that love for this divine essence. Have that love for that part of you. Be ardent in that. And do not lag in zeal. Allow that to shine. As Deborah sung earlier, you are the light of the world. That little light within you shines so brightly. But you have to give it that focus and that purpose. So what's the payoff for this? Why is this so important? Well, really, it's the experience of how you feel when you're grateful for life. It's the experience of how you feel when you're inspired for life, when you're inspired about what's happening, when you're inspired by your passion, when you're fueled by your purpose. That's the payoff if you, with intention, intentionally focus this energy into that which you are here to do, to be, to express. So just think for a moment, if we look outside of us, if we look in this room, can you see one thing in this room that you're grateful for? Just look around. I'm going to grab my water because I'm grateful for water. It's not a test. I won't call on you, but do you have something? Thank you, Paul. I knew it could get on you. Now look within. Look within. Can you find something within you that you're grateful for? Can you find some attribute within you that you're grateful for? Some experience that you're grateful for? Some piece of knowledge, some piece of insight? Something that's coming up within you that's saying, oh, I'm so grateful for this. Focus on your breath for a moment. Feel that breath flowing in. Feel that breath flowing out. Feel that energy flowing in. Feel that energy flowing out. What an amazing gift that is. You don't even have to focus on it. It just happens. It's like God breathing you. that breath of God that flows in and that breath of God that flows out, giving you an experience of life. Anybody still breathing? Most of you are still breathing. That's good to know. What a great gift even that breath is. There's always something in our experience that we can be grateful for and put our energy and attention on, even in the challenges that we have in life. And our goal, what we're going to be working on over this next few weeks, is really living in that idea of grateful abundance, of bringing zeal into our life so that we can focus it on where we want to go. Bringing zeal into our life, that energy that moves us forward so that we can move towards our goals, so that we can move towards our happiness, our joy, so that we can express and experience more of it in our daily lives. Grateful abundance. I forgot to bring the book in here, but we're going to use a book for the next 8 weeks called The Art of Abundance. And we used this before. And the art of abundance is all about how we can tune in to that principle of abundance, which is always present and always active in your life. It's always there. It's like zeal. The energy is always there. We just need to tune into it so that we can express and experience it more in our life. Now, abundance is really talking about not the abundance of money, that may be part of it for you, but the abundance in your life. Grateful for every breath and every experience and every relationship and every moment that we have. I'll give you a great example of this. My 12-year-old daughter, as many of you know, is in the local dance company, and yesterday was a grueling day. She got up at, I think, 7 to get ready to go. She had to be makeup ready, costume ready for the ballet company, and then for pictures. She took pictures for the ballet company, took pictures for the dance company. She's in like 5 dances. Took pictures for the Nutcracker. She was there until 6:30 at night, all day long. She didn't stop for lunch. Photo after photo after photo. Dance class after dance class. Costume change after costume change. And at the end of the day, I picked her up. She texted me she's done. And I got there. Oh, hang on. Drosselmeyer just got here. There's an adult playing Drosselmeyer and just got off work, so she had to go take more photos. So I waited. And then she got undressed and came out with her whole bag full of costumes. Okay, let's go. Can we go to In-N-Out? You betcha. So we went to In-N-Out, and the line was out down in front of Costco, all the way down the road there. Well, if we go home, you can eat faster. If you go inside, we can probably order a little quicker. And she looks at me, yeah, but if we stay in line here in the car, we get to listen to music more. You got it. So we pulled in. Where's her focus? Where's her energy? On her joy, on her experience. So we listened to some songs that she liked by My Chemical Romance. I knew part of the lyrics, so we looked up the lyrics as we're inching along, and we're singing and rocking out in the car. It was so much fun. And we're getting around almost to the point where we turn, and she goes, wow, the sky is so beautiful. The clouds are amazing. I look up, it's great. I'm like, yeah, they're beautiful. And then we turn the corner and says, right there, that's the one, right there. You know how it was just after the sun set, so there wasn't a lot of color, but there was a little sliver of light, and there was wisps of clouds, and it ranged from dark gray to periwinkle, and there was a little bit of orange in there, and it was just this beautiful scene, this little tiny scene. She's like, that right there, that's so beautiful. Grateful abundance. Being able to experience spirit in that moment. Being able to experience the nature of God in the universe. Being able to connect with that. That's a pretty incredible payoff. And it comes from consciously focusing where we're putting our attention and our energy. To consciously focus on a grateful sense of abundance in our lives. In the book, the author quotes Peter Diamandis, who says, when I think of creating abundance, it's not about creating a life of luxury for everybody on this planet, or even for me personally. It's about creating a life of possibility. It's about taking that which is scarce and making it abundant. Now, through this next several weeks, we're going to be focused on a chapter or two each week, because the book builds on itself, and what it does is it grounds us with that principle of abundance that's always present, and allows us and helps us to move through our life to create something, to create a life of purpose, a life worth living. As we come to the end of 2021, anybody going to miss it? I'm ready for 2022. So it's an opportunity for us to start looking at what do we want to see in the future for ourselves personally. How do I want to grow? How do I want to expand in consciousness? How do I want my life to unfold in this time that I have? Each week we'll have there'll be a premise, a problem, the principle, the practice, and the payoff. And along the way, there are going to be challenges. One of the challenges that you will come up against is that you will start learning about your own roadblocks. You will start learning about that part of your BS, your belief system, that is blocking you, that is preventing you from experiencing a life worth living. We're going to have some roadblocks like language. There'll be challenging ideas. We'll be challenging where you're at, what your definitions are. Even that definition of zeal, that quiet zeal, is still very powerful. And the reason we do this, some people say, well, there's a lot of unity speak here, and that might be true. But the reason we do that is to expand your possibilities, to expand your consciousness, to look at things a little bit differently, to see the world anew. This is what is meant by earlier in that chapter 12 of Romans, when Paul says, be refreshed and be renewed by the renewing of your mind. Do not be conformed by the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Expand. Allow something to come up, and when you see these spiritual practices, practice them. Just try them out. I hear a lot of people say, this is great, but it's not working. Really, are you practicing? Yeah, I meditated for 5 minutes this week. Well, that's 5 minutes better than last week, but it's not going to get you that giant transformation that you think is going to happen by meditating for 5 minutes, and yet it's still bringing you along the path, one step at a time. So don't get too excited about whether it's working or not. Just keep moving forward. Allow that spiritual zeal to move you in that direction of spirit. Allow that spiritual zeal to be focused on God, expressing in, through, and as you. The author says the reward behind every thought, deed, and action of every human being of rational mind on this planet is the desire for freedom, inner peace, and a life worth living. A life that is filled with purpose and meaning, a life of fulfillment and wholeness. You are already those things. These next few weeks, we're going to tap into it so you can draw it forward just a little bit more, so you can express and experience that wholeness, that spiritual wholeness, that abundance in your life just a little bit more. And all it takes is a willingness, a zeal within you to let that light shine. Let's move to our affirmation. I'm going to read it to you so that you can get a sense of it. And then I'm going to ask you to affirm it and allow that energy of zeal within you to express while you affirm it. Awakening to the principle of abundance active within me, I say yes to today. This single, simple word opens my mind and heart to new possibilities. I greet this day with zeal. Would you affirm that with me together? awakening to the principle of abundance active within me, I say yes to today. This single, simple word opens my mind and heart to new possibilities. I greet this day with zeal. I am bringing the zeal. Would you affirm that with me together? I am bringing the zeal. Oh, that was pretty close. Sorry. That was perfect. For some, it was exuberant zeal. For some, it was quiet zeal. I love it. I am bringing the zeal today. Together, I am bringing the zeal today. Yes, yes. And now, for our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Love and blessings, everyone. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Namaste.